want to go in there.
Come on. Say hi. Papat.
What?
Come on.
I am.
Stop playing.
Hi. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's Kimmy and the Papat. Kim and Pat. Pat and Kim. It's us.
Kim and Pat.
From the estate shop. A lot of our followers online had, and then not just online, a lot of our customers that come in this shop too, had some questions for us. We actually asked people if you had any questions about us, about the shop, about anything pretty much, and we would answer them for you. So that's what we're doing tonight, right, Peppa?
We are doing the answers this evening.
We're doing the answers this evening without rehearsal, now that I know what the word is. So we're not rehearsing.
Yeah, we did that on the before. Yeah.
Do you need to go wash your face? Or?
No.
Yeah, okay.
I thought I had something on my contact, and I realized I wasn't wearing contacts.
Oh, Lord. You sure you want these answers? All right.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not going to say who asked what questions. We're just going to go through them, and these are not in any specific order. You okay?
Sure. Go ahead.
Someone asked, other than asking for items out of turn, what else might a customer do that might be really annoying? And a very nice comment, by the way. You're awesome to all your customers. I was just wondering what we could do to make things easier for you and your staff. The only thing, and that wasn't annoying to us, just so you know, it just was something that we thought would be more fair to do it. What she's talking about is during the Wednesday shows, what would happen is people would ask about items that they could see.
You might want to explain that better, only because there may be somebody watching that doesn't know about it.
Doesn't know the Wednesday show. Okay, so
There you go.
our Wednesday show is our hump day happy hour. So what we do then is we go to different vendor spaces and we show their items, we present their items on camera, and then we
Virtual shop.
yeah, it's basically virtual shopping.
Piece
It started
by piece
by piece, right? And it started because when we were shut down for the whole COVID thing, we couldn't sell from the shop, so we had to come up with something to do for our vendors to make sure that they could still make a living, or a partial living anyway, by doing what they do here. So at first we did a sale every day like this, and then it went down to just the hump day happy hours on Wednesday, and then Friday night we do our auction. But they each have a little bit of a different feel to it. We do things differently. So Wednesdays, when we're showing the items in one of our vendor spaces, what happens is a lot of people will ask for, item J that is 2 items over that we haven't gotten to yet.
Or from the preview.
Or from the preview, right? Or,
Yeah.
when we walk around. And the problem with that is that we're jumping around, and now I'm going to show them another item, tell them how much it is, and then that person, what I was doing was giving that person first dibs on that item, which really isn't fair to everybody else. So it wasn't as much that it got on our nerves. That wasn't the problem. We were just trying to be fair to all our customers. And the most fair way we could do that is only to allow you to claim things when they're presented and not to skip around. So just to clarify that. But nothing really gets on our nerves per se. The only thing that makes business hard is when people claim items and either don't pay for them in a timely manner, which the way we have it set up is we ask that if you buy something during the Wednesday show, you pay for that item before the next Wednesday show. Same with Friday. And that gives enough time that if you buy things at both shows and we ship it to you, there's enough time to get that done. So the only thing that really is a problem, and it's more a business issue, it doesn't really get on our nerves, but it's that the things get paid for in a timely manner and picked up in a timely manner, because both are an issue. First of all, if they're not paid for right away, that means some of our vendors don't get paid for those items that month. They may have to wait 3-4 weeks sometimes
Or
longer even. Yeah. We've actually started cutting it off, and if things aren't paid for in a certain time, we just put it back in inventory. And you know, unfortunately, that's a letdown for the vendors because they think those items are sold and now they're not.
Yeah, but it's also better for them because it's not sitting on our shelf waiting for someone to respond to us, whereas someone may not respond to us. Instead, you're putting it out on the floor and somebody may walk in and fall in love with it.
Right, right.
You know?
Yeah, it's just sitting there instead of being available for someone else to buy. So that's a problem. And then it takes up a lot of space. If you've been to our shop, you've seen after a good Wednesday show, the hallway, up and down the hallway is just covered with boxes. And it just takes so much space up, and it just starts to get confusing, and we end up giving people either the wrong thing or they're missing things. So again, it's nothing really gets on our nerves. It's not that. We love our customers. We love our peeps. It's just the fact that it's a business issue and it causes problems for us and the vendors.
Yeah.
So anything
Agreed.
else?
No.
What is the best find that I've ever acquired? Not required, acquired. I think the best as far as value goes is 3 years ago, is it now? About 3 years ago?
Yeah, probably about that. Yeah.
Probably about 3 years ago. We were doing a clean out, and during the clean out, the guys that were helping me out found some, they're called cabinet cards. I don't have any here, I'd show you some, but they're cards that are about this big, and it was a whole box, like a shoebox full of cabinet cards. So I started going through there, and I looked, and the shirt, and I've told this story before, so some of you guys have heard this, but when I looked at the shirts, I could see the top, I could see block lettering at the top of the shirt. And I said, I wonder if these are baseball players. So I started doing some research, and sure enough, they were all baseball players. And I remember this day, we had 11 baseball player cards in the lot, and there were probably 100 cards in there, but 11 were baseball players. So I put them right up on eBay. I saw that some did really well, but I wasn't sure how well they would go. So I started them all off at 99 cents. And I tried to identify the baseball player and do it that way. So the one that I remember specifically, now back then, Papat wasn't always in too much. She was having some health issues, so she wasn't, to say the least.
When was that?
Yeah, right, which time? But I remember Wendy and I, and if you don't know Wendy, she's one of our vendors and a sweet girl and a very good friend to us. But Wendy and I were watching eBay to watch this one end because it had gone up to several $100s. And
Oh no, I was there for that one.
actually it went up to about, it was over.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually it was in the thousands.
Because you know when it did it?
No, you weren't there that night.
Are you sure?
I'm positive because me and Wendy were doing like, I was doing, you think I do a dance when I get 100 plus people. Oh my God, we were flipping
Oh,
out.
I'm still waiting to see the video.
It was crazy.
So go
But
ahead.
it ended up selling for, I think it was $2,400 for one card. Huh?
Nothing.
You weren't there.
It was.
We had others that did that too. Wendy, was she there? I don't think so. We'll ask Wendy. But anyway, so that was wild. And then we put all the rest of them up. I think that was the biggest one, the $2,400 one. But there were others that sold for hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. I think it was over, all told, it was over $10,000 for 11 baseball cards. Not to mention, there were some in there that were wrestlers, actors,
Wasn't there
and
one
actresses.
from Mark Twain in there too, or somebody?
Yeah,
I can't
Mark
remember.
Twain.
Was it Mark Twain or Albert? Who's the guy who did electricity? Not Thomas Edison. The white-haired guy. Who's the
The
white-haired?
smart guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, but you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, but you're asking me, like my
never mind.
pinball head. But anyway, we had other famous people in there, and none of them did as well as the baseball players. So that was one of our biggest finds as far as value goes. As far as something that I treasure and something I'm happy to have, believe it or not, we cleaned out a local auction here called the Elmer Auction. And we did it for the bank. We were hired to clean the place out, which was... It took us weeks, and it was like 11 40-yard dumpsters, and it was really a job. But I didn't even think about this earlier, but we had their sign, the Elmer Auction sign, which was actually it was owned by a family first and then owned by somebody else, and unfortunately now it's long gone. But so I had that sign hanging up in our shop, and I really like that. So.
All right, let me ask you a question. Out of all the things that you've sold, which thing meant the most to you as far as the backstory? I think I know which one it is, but I want to see if it's the same thing. Do you remember the bear that you sold on eBay?
The bear!
The bear.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
There
Yeah.
you go.
We had a, oh gosh, what are those bears called?
It's not Boyd. It's not Stife.
Yeah, Stife bear.
Ah!
So I found this little teddy bear we were at like a doll museum or something, or a doll
It was a doll
hospital.
house, right?
Doll hospital.
Oh.
So this bear had no ears, and he was all beat up, but he had his arms and legs. And my radar went on. I always say my radar went off when I feel like something's valuable. And I had a feeling it was a Stife. Stife bears generally have a button in the one ear. They have a little brass button and a label coming out saying Stife or just the button. I just had a feeling about this. And I put it up on eBay and auctioned it off, and it sold for what, $950?
Just under $1,000.
Just under $1,000.
But,
Tell the story.
well, no, you tell it because you're going to remember it.
Go ahead.
No.
I'll help you. Go
The
ahead.
story was you sold it, and then the gentleman who purchased it, and it was a gentleman, he wrote to you because his wife had passed. And she had a doll very similar. And I can't remember if we knew how she passed. I think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in a fire or something.
It was something yucky.
Yeah. And that bear reminded him of his wife, so he would have paid anything to have that bear to have by his side to remember.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to her bear. Like we said, something happened to that bear and they lost it for some reason.
But it was just that it touched how it touched
Yeah,
him.
he wrote a whole long, I forgot all about this till he said it. He wrote this whole long story about his wife having that bear and how much it meant to him. And that was really cool.
That was sweet.
That was really neat. Yeah. And if you know me, if he had walked in the door, I would have handed it to him. So that was really interesting. Good question. How and when did the Pink Ladies start?
Go ahead.
We were actually talking about this the other day. The Pink Ladies is basically the original group of vendors that started with
Lady
us.
vendors.
At Plus One Gary.
Plus One Gary.
Plus One Gary. It's the Pink Ladies Plus One Gary. It's very important you put that in there.
Yeah, he's Danny Zuko.
But what happened was we opened in 2017. If you don't know the story, I had the estate sale company and I was really busy and really tired. And my uncle had, he just had recently found out he had terminal cancer. And he wanted me to stop working so hard and wanted me to get my antique shop, which was always a dream of mine. So he went out and helped me, and we ended up getting the original antique shop, which was up the road.
First building, right.
The first building.
Yeah.
It was up the road about a mile.
Across from
Franklinville Inn.
That's the one.
But you know, he didn't believe in the whole vendor thing and the co-op thing. He wanted me to do it by myself, but I knew that's something I wanted to do. And there were people that I knew from the estate sales side of it that we had become not just customers, but we were friends. And that's Paper Pat,
Debbie and
Gary, Wendy and Karen, I think that was...
At the time, that was
At
it.
the time, that was it, yeah. So, they were the original group.
I have to tell you this. I don't know if I ever told you this. There was a sale I had to do for you, and this was years ago.
Right.
And I had originally hurt my foot, so Peggy and I were doing it.
Right.
You were at another sale, and I screwed up on Debbie and Gary's receipt the first day. They came back the next day, and I thought, oh my God, they're going to be screaming at me. They're going to be so pissed off at me, and I just was like, I didn't want to see them. Debbie walks in, okay, whatever.
Sounds about right.
And I'm like, okay, anyway, go ahead.
But we've been very, very blessed and
Yeah.
fortunate to have these people around us. And so that's how it kind of started. That was our core group, but it didn't really have a name at that point. It was just like the girls, you know what I mean? And then, and that included Karen and Wendy, if I didn't say that already. And then what was so important was these people, they didn't know me as far as running a business like this from Adam. They didn't know if it would work, but they had...
And they didn't know me either, at all.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
I think the only one I knew coming into it was Debbie and Karen.
Yeah.
Or Debbie and Pat. I knew
Yeah.
Pat from estate sales.
Yeah, you didn't see Wendy and Karen
Nope,
too much
never
at that point.
knew anything about them.
But for them to have faith in me and to start this business basically with me was just really, really important and
was
touching.
awesome.
And yeah. So, and they're still here. So after all this time. But anyway, so then Joanne came in and Pepper came in, Pat Burr, we call her Pepper, and Junebug. And you know,
You started collecting the ladies.
yeah, it was kind of like we had this core group of people that we hung out at, you know, at some time, and it was just, it wasn't the vendors that, like, we love all our vendors, don't get me wrong, but it was more the vendors that hung out with us, and we do birthdays together and have dinner sometime and stuff like that. So it was more that. And then they became the Pink Ladies because Papat and I, yeah, Barbara. Oh my gosh. I forgot about Barbara. I'm sorry, Boopy.
I
Buffy.
not want to even
Yeah,
go
Barbara too. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Barb. How can I forget you?
there. Well, part of your problem is you're old. So you're like the rest of us.
I kept going, I'm like, I'm forgetting somebody. But Barb's a very important part of that as well. So, Barbara's also a Pink Lady. And so anyway, all these folks, all the Pink Ladies plus one Gary had their faith in me.
Why did you call them
Pink Ladies? Because Papat and I, for Halloween, our first Halloween, dressed up like... Sandy
and Danny Zuko, and you can figure out who was who.
So I was a Pink Lady, and then they were my
I was
gang.
a T-Bird.
Yeah, she was a
T-Bird all the way, baby.
So
Yep.
that's how it all started. My gang was the Pink Ladies. So that's how it started. That's how it began.
And we just kept it going. And now, from what I understand, Debbie actually has the Pink Lady jacket.
She does. She
And
wore it last year.
Gary
Has the Thunderbird
has
jacket.
the Thunderbird jacket. So we need to work on ours.
Right. So the bottom line is you can become a Pink Lady. You don't have to be one of the very first vendors because Barbara came in later, Joanne came in later. So we add to the Pink Ladies. It feels cold, that air.
It does. A little bit.
I think we got the air conditioner on by mistake.
Anyway.
But so that's what the Pink Ladies are, plus one Gary. So we love all our vendors.
And Paul.
And Paul. And Paulie. I love Paulie.
Why do you love Paulie?
Because he takes me on really fast rides in cars. And brings me trucks to play with. So that's how it all started. And like
We're
I
a fun
said,
group.
yeah, we enjoy everybody here, but there were certain people who, when we had events, would show up for the events. We had Psychic in here one time, a couple times. we just had
Or
different
even
things.
just like after the first car boot show last year.
And we all hung out.
And we all hung out. We had a barbecue in our backyard here at the shop.
Right.
You know, we did something for your birthday.
Yeah.
You know, because we're not only vendors and us, we're a family.
Right.
We
We are a family. We
Yeah.
really are. And even the vendors who, you know, we don't call them the pink ladies, but I mean, even the other vendors that are here, we've just become a family, and we love them all. And so anyone can be a pink lady. Plus one Gary. Plus one Paul.
I was going to say, you got to keep it up there, you know?
So anyway, that's how it works.
And you can edit this out, right? Gary may be able to do the real John Travolta stuff, because I hear he does Pilates.
Pilates Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one. How did Kimmy and Papat meet? Because you're so adorable together. We're adorable, Papat.
Like when we fight?
Yes.
Mm.
We fight all the time.
Oh, yeah.
We had a rough day today, but it wasn't between us. It was us fighting for something.
Things.
Yeah, it just had a bad day. But anyway, how did we meet? Papat was actually a friend of mine.
Right.
And they bowled together. And
yes, I was in charge of a bowling. But yeah.
You want to start over?
Yeah, go ahead.
Since you just dug yourself a hole.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So, how did Kimmy and Papat meet? Because we are so adorable together. Adorable. So anyway, the way we met was Papat was actually in a bowling league that a friend of mine was in, and I went to the bowling alley to watch them all bowl. It was a ladies' bowling league in Deptford, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I watched them all bowl, and I was sitting there watching everybody, and I would hear down the other end of the bowling alley, somebody was throwing so hard, I thought they were throwing overhand, and that was her. So anyway, that just caught my attention real quick, but that was the end of it.
Because it was loud, right?
Because it was really loud. But afterwards, we all went to a bar to have some burgers and some wings, and there was karaoke at the bar. And I was talking to my friends. I wasn't sitting with Pat and her friends. And all of a sudden, she started singing. And
she went, whoop!
I did. I really did. I couldn't believe.
And I can tell you exactly what song it was, too.
What was it?
Oh, this kills me. Top of the World.
Top of the World, yep.
Top of the World. It
Yep.
was me and Sherry.
You and Sherry, yep. So that caught my attention, and then from there, we kept going to karaoke together, and then the rest is history. But that's how it got started, was hearing her sing, and us going to karaoke all the time together. And
Well,
I don't sing, I just manage.
Well, and we were friends for a long time.
Yeah.
Before anything happened. We actually played softball first.
Right, we played softball together.
Because you told me about the league, and you got me involved in that again. And my niece, thank you, by the way.
So as far
That's why
as
I didn't feel bad taking your cold beers for my niece.
So we were friends for a while before we were actually a couple, is what she's saying. So that's it. That's our story.
Yep.
And this is how many years later now?
Over 25.
25 years plus we've been together. So that's our story, and we're
we fight
sticking to
every
it.
single day.
We do.
We do.
2 o'clock in the
Who's
morning.
taking
we
the
get a
dog
pee.
out?
That's it. We don't fight. We
No.
we had one big fight ever, and it was right before we got married. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Okay.